I went in with the box, I went, who wants a Chinese?
All right, 10 million.
10 million views, bang. Ordered the Chinese, just me ordering the Chinese on the phone, 5 million views.
Yeah.
And it just like, and that's when everyone, who's this guy with the Chinese? Who's this guy with the Chinese? So I said, all right, it's the way I said it, so I used to go, BOSH, like that, and people loved it. Was invited to Las Vegas a few weeks back with my wife, 5 nights. To give a big shout out to the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas, great place. They invited us out there for me to sample all the foods in their restaurants. Getting women coming up to me in the street now. I was in Las Vegas in a Wynn Hotel with my wife, eating dinner. A gorgeous looking American lady come in with her boyfriend or husband. And she went, oh my God, is that Big John? And she came up to me and I went, oh hello, please meet. She went,
Sparring with Tyson. Who else you spar with?
Derek Chisora, Joe Joyce, Fabio Wardley, Daniel Dubois. Who's the other ones? Anyone else? Dave Allen, the White Rhino. Yeah, so all different names. A lot of the top ones, which has been good. And the main thing he said is look after yourself, look after number one. Don't worry about anyone else in this game, especially boxing. And I've never forgot that. And who else to set an example for you than Tyson Fury and his dad? So I'm going to take them words on board. When I broke my hand in my 5th fight and I got cut in the first 30 seconds, I knew I couldn't throw my right hand properly. And I probably could have done a little bit better than I did with the right hand because I kept still trying to throw it in a weird way, but you're not always going to knock them out. So you've got to think about a plan B, and that's what I'm developing at the minute as well. So I got cut in the first 30 seconds. I could feel the blood coming down my eye, but that was experience gained in that fight. It was in front of 2,500 of my own supporters as well.
the Americans love the yee BOSH. And the Greeks, yamas BOSH, they love it.
Right, we've got Big John Fisher, who's been going viral on TikTok, YouTube, doing podcasts, going out to the Chinese, having a laugh. It is a unique angle. You should check his socials out. All the links will be in the description box. And he's brought his son Johnny, who is, what's your streak right now?
9-0.
9-0.
8 knockouts.
We're talking sparring with Tyson. Who else you spar with?
Derek Chisora, Joe Joyce, Fabio Wardley, Daniel Dubois. Who's the other ones? Anyone else? Dave Allen, the White Rhino. Yeah, so all different names. A lot of the top ones, which has been good.
And we're here today to hear the life story, and you've got upcoming gigs as well, haven't you? Ella?
Yes. Yes, sorry, I was just blown away with listening to Johnny's record then. Yeah, we've got a big tour coming up with Big John, so we're looking forward to that. We're hitting a number of different towns across England, from Middlesbrough, Manchester, down to Portsmouth.
And Scotland and Ireland.
Scotland, Ireland. Wales.
Proper UK tour.
Yeah, so we'll be dropping in all the dates at the end of the podcast.
All right, let's start with, did it begin in Romford or were you born somewhere else?
I was born in the Royal London Hospital, Whitechapel. Come from a big East End family, like all my mum and dad, obviously East Enders. Moved out from there when I was about 2 or 3, like what a lot of East Enders did then. Moved to Harold Hill near Romford, stayed there for a year and then ended up in like Gideon Park in Romford ever since.
And what was it like growing up?
I had a good childhood, never went without anything. We was never rich, you know, just a standard. My dad worked all the hours, my mum worked, but we never went without anything. Had a really good upbringing.
What was it your parents did, sorry?
My dad had a haulage company, like, you know, lorries, and then he started up a cheese firm, buying and selling cheese, which I later went into after I'd done my A-levels. And my mum just worked part-time at Holland and Barrett, of all places.
Love
Health
that
shop, yeah.
Was that the beginning of the cheese? Was that the beginning of something there?
Yeah, the cheese, as I say, I've done my A-levels. I went and worked up the city, first of all.
Yeah.
Sanwa Japanese Bank, I believe they're not there anymore, but it wasn't for me. I always used to go to work with my dad when I was younger, and I said, look, Dad, can I come and work with you? And he didn't want me to. He wanted me to stay in the city. Makes sense, really. Paid holidays, paid sick pay. Went and worked for my dad, and we built the cheese business up quite well. And we're still doing it to this day, just about. Had a rocky road through lockdown, had a lot of bad debts. People that knocked me are the people that was closest to me.
Yeah.
But touch wood, thankfully, I've never knocked anyone in my life, and I hope it stays that way.
I've never met anyone in the cheese business before.
No, me neither.
What does it take to be in the cheese business?
Doesn't it take quite a long time?
Yeah, it's just, listen, my dad used to transport the cheese on his haulage. So he said, look, I'm transporting it, why don't I buy and sell it? And we got a packing, like a warehouse, packing plant. He done a lot of wonders, my dad. And then, as I say, it's just a lot of grief. It's a lot of hard work. And you're from Cheshire. We deal mainly with companies in Cheshire, like J.S. Bailey, Fairfield Foods, FJ Needs. You know, you've got a lot of good companies up there. But yeah, it's put a roof over our head. But it has been hard work. You know, whenever I've been on holiday, I'm always at the end of the phone, always ringing up. It's non-stop. Even now, I'm going to work tomorrow for about 5-6 hours doing the cheese. It's relentless in a way, but it's all I've ever known.
So seeing that you and your dad both sound like grafters, what was that like in school for you?
Yeah, listen, my mum and dad always led education came first. You know, you got to try hard at school, you got to do your best at school. Even though my dad had no qualifications whatsoever, old East Ender, left school at 15, just went to work. But he knew how to earn money. He knew how to talk to people and get on. But yeah, it's just, listen, we've just been brought up, work as hard as you can, but enjoy life as well. You've got to enjoy life. There's no point living if you don't enjoy it.
What kind of stuff did you get up to as a kid? Have you got any crazy or funny stories?
Not really. I'm quite, I was quite straight down the line, played football, boxed, obviously, as a amateur. Had 3 older sisters. They can probably tell you a few stories about me, but they all had boyfriends. All I can remember, one, Stuart, who's married to my sister now. Whenever he come round, we was with my mates, we used to do a big greenie in his hair and run. And he could never catch us. But now it'd be different, he'd be able to catch me now, so I won't do it. But yeah, pretty bog standard, happy childhood. Not really, didn't get up too much, I weren't really in trouble. Used to stand my ground. I never backed down from any trouble, any fights, because that was installed in me from the family, like where we come from. But I never went looking for trouble either. Never.
So how did you meet your lovely wife?
Well, we was in Hollywood's. I was after sparring, actually. I was 18. My wife was a week before her 17th birthday. And I used to spar on a Thursday night. I was at the Repton or the Lion. And I used to go to Hollywood's, meet my mates, never drunk, but used to go and have a couple of hours, chill out. And I've seen her a couple of times before in Romford. We've just looked at each other, and then Johnny's probably cringing at this. And then I went to Hollywood's that night, and she was in there, and that was it. Bang! She couldn't keep her hands off me.
Modest.
Yeah, it's the truth. You can ask her this. It's the truth. But you couldn't blame her back then, because I looked a bit like Johnny did now. But
Oh, thank you.
yeah, well, I don't know if that's a good thing, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking that as well.
Yeah, and we started going out of each other, and she was at Italia Conti at the time, dance school, and I was a bit old fashioned, and I probably didn't really like what she was doing, but you can't sort of stop her because she's doing her own thing, and we ended up all these years later 4 children, and still together, and we still do a lot of things. She's coming to Magaluf with me next week on one of my appearances, so.
What you got going on in Magaluf?
We already went there last week.
We went there last week. Johnny,
appearance.
After Johnny's fight, I had an appearance in Magaluf Bananas nightclub, and about 20 people come. His coach, Mark Tibbs, Sonny Cannon, Elle Brooke, the OnlyFans girl, she came. And
you were there for Father's Day as well, weren't you? Had a roast.
So we had Father's Day. We had Chinese, Blue Orchid.
Yeah.
Father's Day.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Is it yesterday? Sunday. It's Tuesday today, isn't it?
Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday today, losing track of all the days.
Yeah, we got back Friday, Saturday, and then Father's Day had a Chinese.
Magaluf was good because I'm out there for a night. You go do your appearance. I stayed for an extra night because all 3 of my boys came out there. And my wife, Charlotte, she said, look, the boys are there, you stay with them because you don't get that time now they're this age to spend time with them. And I had a really, really good time. Magaluf was lovely.
It gets a bad rap, but it was really good.
The beach, you see, unbelievable.
What took you to Magaluf? Like, why did you go there in the first place for an appearance? Were you invited?
I was paid by an agency, to go there, do an appearance. So why not? They pay for your flights, pay for your hotel.
So you would say you're now sort of a mini celebrity, getting invited out to abroad.
Was invited to Las Vegas a few weeks back with my wife, 5 nights. To give a big shout out to the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas, great place. They invited us out there for me to sample all the foods in their restaurants. I'm going to the south of France for the Rugby World Cup. I'm going, where am I going? I've got been to Ibiza, O Beach, with Charlie Sloth and Wayne Lineker.
Love Ibiza.
So it's just crazy, you know what I mean? Like, but you're getting these invites, and just before we came here, I think I got Iron Appa being lined up as well. So
how did this all begin? Let's go back to how you got into BOSH Talk.
Yeah, BOSH Talk. Well, we used to have an Instagram, a TikTok called Wilbertross. Me, Johnny, Henry, William, my other son, had 600,000 followers, didn't it?
Yeah, on TikTok.
On TikTok.
But it started off, William was the first one making videos.
Yeah, William, my youngest son, William's known as Wilbertross, 6'7", blonde hair. Everyone keeps saying it's the milkman.
6'7"?
Yeah, William.
Oh, hang on a minute. So, and you're...
I'm 6'4.5".
You're 6'4". William's 6'7". Henry?
6'2".
Same
He's a
as me,
small one.
6'2".
How tall's Charlotte?
Charlotte's, what's she, about 5'10"?
Poor girl.
5'7".
She ain't 5'7".
She's not 5'10".
Right. We'll have to ask her. She's not short.
She's 5'8", about 5'8".
Hetty's about the same. Hetty's 15.
So everyone's got some serious height going on in the family.
Well, William, he was the first one. He used to be a bit nutty.
Still
in a
is
good
now.
way. In a good way. Sometimes you can't control him, but he's a wonderful young man. Got a good job. But he met a girlfriend, and she calmed him down a little bit, should we say? And he lost a bit of his pizzazz and a bit of his sparkle.
He's got it back
So
now.
then it came on to us, and but he's getting it back now, yeah, because he's not with her anymore.
And that's when the Wilbertross page started.
Yeah, it's just one time as well. Henry, my middle son, used to film me eating Chinese wherever I was, or eating food. I didn't know, and all of a sudden he's putting all these videos on TikTok, slow
any
motion.
particular reason why he used to? Is it just because
he thought it was funny? Yeah.
Because he thought it was funny. He's got a warped sense of humour. He's got a very creative mind.
If my mum burnt a dinner, and then you were moaning about it, that was the first one that took off, and you said, "Fine, I won't eat anything then. See you later." And I went up the stairs.
She's having a go at me going to the cupboards because I'm supposed to be on a diet. I've forever been on a diet, and I'm going to the cupboard. And she says, "What are you doing?" None of us know we're being filmed. She says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I just need a little snack before I go to bed." She said, "You don't really need one." And just things like that, you know, and like...
People can relate to it. I think that's why it took off on TikTok.
But it really took off on TikTok, Saturday Night Chinese. Weren't planning anything. Just you say, "Oh, there's Chinese at the door," like we were waiting for the Chinese. And I think it come in and I just went, "Who wants a effing Chinese?" And I think it had about 7 million views.
Wow.
And when I did it, "Who wants an effing burger?" I did it again. He filmed me while I was being drunk. That went in America about 40 odd million views. Yeah. Kate Beckinsale put me on a story with it, doing it. Yeah. So it's just...
It's all for the love of your Chinese.
Yeah. It's Chinese is where it all started from.
I used to get known at the one down the road from me. I was quite proud that they knew me by my first name, and they sent me a Christmas card. Every night I used to get one.
I got most Christmas presents from Chinese takeaways more than anyone. So don't worry about that.
I was quite proud.
He's probably not even joking.
But obviously then Johnny sort of turned professional, and he had a bigger following than me. And we had a race to 100,000 followers.
Yeah, then you're on 200 and something now.
We had a race to 100,000 followers on Instagram, just a bit of fun. But all of a sudden, I just went.
Yeah, there's no comparison there.
And he don't want to beg for followers.
But it's good. But it's good because if 1 or 2% of the people that follow him then end up following me and coming to the fights, good for me.
Listen, when I'm in the club appearances as well, sometimes like 1, 2 or 3 of my sons will come with me, or sometimes I go on my own. I prefer it when 1 or 2 of them's with me. Like when we do the tour, hopefully 1 or 2 will be with me. And we always, like, you do your Boshes, you do your Chinese, who wants a burger, but then we always say Bull Army and Johnny Fisher, and so it's all...
It's a family affair then, really, isn't it?
The most important thing for me is him, because he has to get in the ring. Yeah. People don't see the work he puts in, week out, day in, day out. You know, they just see the fight and if it's over in 2 minutes or 1 or 2 rounds, oh, that's easy. It's far from easy. Big respect to all boxers that do it day in, day out. You know, a lot of people couldn't do it, and that's why it is... why they're so regarded so highly, you know.
And that's why I'm going to pass the mic to you to ask some boxing questions, because me and Sean are actually none the wiser. I mean, I've been to watch the boxing, but yeah, here we go.
Thank you.
Now she's thinking what to say.
No, you're right. It's a real dedication, isn't it? And I've alluded to it before. My boyfriend follows you quite religiously and has been to all your fights, and he's mentioned to me about how you you're very dedicated. And do you drink at all? You don't. You're totally
Never, yeah.
sober. Yeah.
Never. Even when I was at university, I never drank either. So
because you were playing rugby before,
played
right?
rugby at university. Boxing was what I first done when I was 6 or 7 years old. But when I played a bit of rugby when I went to Exeter Uni. So it's known for its good rugby. And I was studying history there. Then I was playing rugby for a bit and got into the first team for the freshers, playing well there. But I was probably a bit out of my depth because I was playing with these boys who played at really good academy schools and private schools. But the thing is, I started playing with them and I was getting as good as them. Probably not good enough to get into that Premiership rugby setup, but I was on my way to that. But boxing was something I always wanted to do.
Because rugby itself that's a big game, big sport within itself. You've got to be super fit, super dedicated. But I think for me, the level of determination, the motivation that you have to get in the ring, I don't think anyone quite understands when you get into the ring that the adrenaline, you're going to go...
You're on your own as well.
You're on your own.
You know, we've got top respect for rugby. We get on with the England rugby, the Irish
But
rugby
you've got
team.
a team.
But you've got 14 other players with you on that team. When you get into that boxing ring, when everyone gets out,
I kind of miss the camaraderie of a team sport as well, because it's just like you have a good laugh with your mates. Like you build a bond with the people you're playing with.
But you built a bond with your boxing team, haven't you? Like Magaluf was great, wasn't it? You
build a little team, but you do build a bond with your team in boxing, and they're your friends for life. But it is still different. You're not playing the sport. You're not fighting someone together. Yeah. You're on your own in the ring. Like it is a different.
When you're walking out, how do you feel? And because your music that you have, why did you pick?
Country Roads is my ring walk song, and that was a big song in Exeter Uni. I'm a big country music fan, but Exeter Uni at the end of every nightclub they'd play Country Roads. It was just like a big song. The rugby boys always sang it, and I just liked the way the tune of it.
I remember
wasn't
when
too serious.
Picking the first song, because Johnny had a few fights at Exeter Uni, amateur for them,
right.
And I can remember talking. We were saying, what song should I have?
Yeah.
And a few come up, but it always come back to
Country Roads.
Roads because of the Exeter connection.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever change it?
No, it's always going to be that. But you asked me what I feel when I walk into the ring. When I first done it in front of my fans, I was quite nervous, and you can't help but feel the nerves because you've got 2,000-3,000 of your own supporters there. But then now I think I've done it a few times. I don't feel anything anymore. Because
your last fight at Wembley, now if I'm right in saying this, you were quite low down on the card to start with, and didn't you get bumped up because it was the amount of tickets that you sold? You're following the
Romford Army.
Your following alone took in, I don't know what the percentage of the sales were, but didn't you get
most of the sales?
Yeah, you got bumped up on the card.
Not that I got. I would have always been on like the main show, but yeah, I got put up second from last. Chief support behind Sonny Edwards.
How did that make you feel?
I've had that before when I fought at Ali Pali as well, so I had the same sort of thing. So I've learnt now to not, with boxing, you can't let your emotions get in the way or get in control. If you're professional, it's just I've just got to do my job. My job in there, I've got to fight another man in the ring and I've got to beat him. Nothing else matters. That's all that matters. But it's great. Obviously, you can't. If I start thinking about all the supporters are there, who's in the crowd, then your mind goes off of it. And I'm really grateful for everyone who comes in and buys a ticket, because it makes the atmosphere unreal, and it does feel like everyone's there for me. But if I start thinking about that in my head, I'm not thinking about what my job is, which is to beat the other man in front of me. Yeah. Then afterwards, I can relax and I go and see all my supporters who've come to watch me. We make a day of it. People come and they do a bar crawl the day before. We've all got T-shirts on. You can see them all making their way up to Liverpool from Liverpool Street. And then,
Is that something you've orchestrated?
We with the Romford Army, we've done it now, because I used to have to be at the pubs at the start and then on the train, but I want to be with him, or near, not with him, but just relaxing, because it's nerve-wracking on the day of the fight. Yeah. But now we've got so many good people in the Romford Army. We've got my mate Brad, we've got Johnny's cousin Michael, got Dan Lee. You've got Mem,
Stuart Kinney. There's so many characters.
So they're like,
you could write a sitcom about the characters in the Romford.
It's like Fools and Horses.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should bring them on one of the tour nights.
We should. Yeah. But when like one of the videos, I mean, we're sitting in a hotel. One of the videos is on the Elizabeth line getting off, and it's just hundreds of people going up the escalator, all with the Romford T-shirts on. Because Johnny's fortunate, he's got some good sponsors behind him, and a lot of them, they provide T-shirts. So everyone that buys a ticket through Johnny's link, we give them a free T-shirt.
That's the thing, a lot of my sponsors,
so
they're supporters, they come and they do the bar crawl with everyone. It's not as if they're just in the background.
Yeah,
they're my friends as well, so it's great.
You're a real boxer for the people, really, aren't you?
Yeah. It's just I'm just trying to be myself.
Yeah, it's
People
nice.
buy into it, they buy into it. If they don't, they don't. But I will never try and be anything that I'm not.
Do you know what's good about the Romford Blimey? What we've built together, not just Johnny, not just me, all the people that I've mentioned, we built it together. You've got West Ham fans, you've got Chelsea fans, you've got Crystal Palace
Everyone
fans,
comes
Millwall
together.
fans.
you've got Millwall fans, you've got
Lovely.
big support
Scouts,
for Millwall.
Liverpool fans, Everton fans.
like Leeds. But when
People
they
come
put
down
that-
from Stoke
when
City
they put that
fans.
T-shirt on, everyone's the same. And they're there to support Johnny,
Isn't that
and
nice?
everyone's welcome. Everyone, you know, and we all have a good time. I mean, touch wood, 9 fights. First 2 were in lockdown. We've had 7 fights. We have after parties. Not been one trouble anywhere. Not one. And that's how we like to keep it. We're there for a good time, just to support Johnny and everyone get on.
Yeah, the support you have is pretty phenomenal. And also, you've done some sparring, we touched on it earlier, with Tyson Fury.
Yep.
I see, actually, especially in the last couple of fights I've watched you, your stance does remind me, I mean, your height is, I mean, no one's as tall as Tyson, but some of it, the way you move does remind me of how, do you think you pick up any of his styles or
You pick
traits?
up from everyone
Yeah.
you spar with. Tyson Fury is obviously the best out there, and it was great to spar him before I sparred him before Deontay Wilder free fight, and his dad was there, and he gave me some good pointers as well. And the main thing he said is, look after yourself, look after number one. Don't worry about anyone else in this game, especially boxing. And I've never forgot that. And who else to set an example for you than Tyson Fury and his dad? So
Yeah, the main
I'm going to take them words on board.
Yeah, isn't that lovely?
Yeah, shout out to them if they
Yeah.
watch this.
Yeah,
Cheers.
massive shout out to Tyson Fury.
Yeah, they're top. They're down to earth. You know, they're real people, and they're. He's got. I remember one story. We were sparring, and they normally give you a bit of expenses, like for the week, like to go and get a bit of food and stuff like that. And I really didn't want to take any money. I was saying, Tyson, I'm really grateful for everything you're doing. I don't want any money. And he said, Johnny, stop being silly, you stupid. You know what? I've earned this much money this year. Just take the 200 quid and get yourself a sandwich. So it was nice. It was nice of him. You know, he's not flash at all. He's just a normal bloke.
Yeah.
Treats everyone the same.
And he's very family oriented. What's striking me about John and Johnny, which I'm going to touch on in a minute, but it's very family orientated, and this will lead me on to my main question that Sean knows I want to ask this. Why did you call Johnny after you?
Was he your favourite?
Did you
I'm
know?
the favourite. I'm the oldest, so I'm the
Yeah,
favourite.
but did you know that he was going to be your favourite?
Obviously, my dad was John,
Oh right, okay.
and I'm John, and we was Big John and Little John. I was known as Little John then when my dad was alive.
Now you're Big John and I'm Little
Now
John.
I'm Big John.
Right.
And I wanted to call Johnny John, but I wanted to change it a little bit, just so you know.
Yeah, and everyone thinks my name's Jonathan, or like some people say that. My full name's Johnny. That's all it is.
But
Everyone thinks,
we are very family orientated, you know.
Yes.
Like Johnny, my dad, like Johnny's granddad. We had a little bit of an upset today, you know. Like my mum was round, and sometimes it hits you.
Yeah.
You just talk about certain things. My mum was round. My dad used to take Johnny to his training because I got 3 other boys at the time, so we was taking football, and you know, and Johnny spent a lot of time with my dad, and they had a really close bond. And we
That's
just saying it home today. Can't say what it was about, or just hit home. And
every now and then it just hits you. You know, like you might be in the
Yeah.
car on your own, and
Yeah.
you don't think about it. Anything can just set you off.
and
It's
it's like
only
it's
once
12,
every
13
few
years
months.
ago, but
Yeah.
it seems like it was
No.
yesterday.
You think about him every single day, every day. Yeah.
Big part of all of our family's life.
Yeah, he's still with you then, very much so.
Yeah, always.
He's still in your life.
Always. But
Well,
we just talked to my mum was round, and we just said, look, he's missing this, he's missed that. Missed a lot
He's
with
missed
our other
loads of
kids, not
stuff.
just Johnny.
Yeah.
Not just Johnny, with our other children. And, you know, you just think he was taken when he was 67, retired at 66, dead by 67.
oh no.
Yeah, mesothelioma, the cancer, the asbestosis.
Yeah.
You know, from when he first worked at 15, because he wasn't lazy, went and worked his first job, and ended up taking his life when he could just enjoy life. But it's life, you know. My dad lived his life with no regrets, and he was what he said he was, and he's got no regrets. So, but it's just funny how it just hits you,
Yeah.
you know.
But isn't that lovely to be such a close-knit family? It's
Yeah.
very nice to see.
Thank you.
So you all sit down together for dinner time, for Chinese time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's chaos.
Is it chaos?
Try and get in there before. I'll tell him not to tell them too early because they'll all come down the
They'll all
stairs
be
and grab.
upstairs.
Let me
Chinese,
get in
we
there
go.
first.
We'd be sitting downstairs. Go Chinese at the door, so we can get ours dished up before they come down. Otherwise, it's like a free for all. It
Yeah.
really is. Yeah, but there's always enough. But you know, it's like
You wanna
we've
get
got
the first
four-
pick.
How many is there? 5. There's 4 like men.
Yeah.
And like my wife and daughter, they just take it a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
But the 4 of us, I'm having that. It's fun.
Henry won't take a backward step either, and he's the greediest one.
Yeah.
What annoys me is when they put it on their, they take
don't
loads on
eat
their plate and they won't eat it. Like,
No,
why put it on your plate?
I've not got,
Wasting.
I've not got a problem if someone puts it on there. Henry will fill his plate up and he'll leave half of it every time. You know, you feel like saying, just take a little bit less, Henry.
Sorry if we sound like nutters around food.
We're into one.
Yeah.
I've got the one boy inside me now. I'm thinking, God, if I have more of them, I'm in trouble.
You,
aren't I?
if you at least have 2 of them, you're in trouble.
Oh no!
Especially with Sean thrown in there when it's dinner time. It's yeah.
And Sean's eating habits, you don't honestly, you've never
Vile.
seen anything
Indian
like
food,
it.
love Indian food.
Yeah, I love an Indian as well.
See, we're more Chinese, but we do love an Indian.
Yeah.
We do love an Indian.
Nice.
But I think an Indian's more for sitting out, going to a restaurant. You
I
know,
agree.
I think when an Indian, when you get a takeaway, it's nice, but it doesn't travel as well as when you're sitting in.
You see what he's saying?
Indian always tastes better in the restaurant.
Yeah, I think it
nice,
does.
nice ice cold lager. You know, you get looked after.
So you're telling Sean he needs to take me out more instead of
Yeah,
fucking.
yeah, stop being a tight sod.
Right, the only boxing question I know is how do you get in the zone?
How do I get in the zone? It's quite music you listen to is quite important. I think when I get in the change room, my strength and conditioner Sonny Cannon knows what music I like. He likes the same music as me, and there's one song from Conan the Barbarian we put on the Anvil of Crom, and it's really cheesy and it's thingy, but he puts that on,
It's like battle.
and then it's like. Right, that's like 5 minutes before you walk out. Like you might be laughing and joking in the change room, and he puts that song on, and that starts playing, and
it changes.
Yeah.
But I've never been in the change room before Johnny boxes. Not a place for me. Not a place for his mum.
the only people in my change room are my managers and my trainers.
Yeah.
And
I was
any
gonna say-
photographers who are needed, but it's strictly business when you get into that part.
Because one of my friends, she was going out with a boxer and she was never allowed to see him before the fight because it
Makes
would make him
sense.
too soppy.
Yeah, you can't.
And
yeah.
also, you can't get jiggy before a fight, can you?
No.
No.
Plus, she might come in there and say, "Oh, so and so's done this, or so and so
Exactly.
said that."
Yeah.
You've just got to have tunnel vision. You know, tunnel vision. I
And
mean,
stay calm.
Even
it's
footballers,
calm.
you wouldn't have Cristiano Ronaldo in a Manchester United dressing room when he played for them with his wife come walking in, would you, before the game?
Exactly.
It wouldn't happen. So when we said earlier, with boxers, it's magnified because it's just you. So, you know, sportsmen, sportswomen, they've got to be focused before.
It's focused, but it's like you can't get too pent up and use up your nervous energy either. You've got to realise you're just going in there to do what you've trained to do. It's not. Don't be too dramatic about things either. Just here's your team. This is what you've got to do. You've got to do your job, and then you get out, and then you're done.
So do you switch up your diet before a fight, or is that not chaos?
My diet is
He
quite.
doesn't have to,
I have to
he's
eat a lot
heavyweight.
of calories. When I'm training, I have 7,000 calories a day. So when I'm sparring and doing a swim or run in the evening, because I can burn 2,000 calories in an hour and a half doing a sparring session, because I've got a higher metabolic rate. So I've got to get enough calories in.
This is why I'm overweight, because he's always bringing back food. And listen, if it's not there, I can not eat it. But if he's
No
got a bit of
excuse,
food,
you don't have to eat it.
I'm telling you the truth. If there's food in front of me,
But as a
I'm gonna eat
heavyweight,
it.
my Sonny Cannon, my strength and conditioner, used to work with Tottenham Hotspur. He was their like nutritionist, and they have an 80-20% rule. So when people see me eat, I eat 80% of it is really good, healthy stuff, nutritious. But to replace the calories you've lost after sparring, I might have to go and eat a pizza just to get the calories straight back in. Otherwise, muscle depletion, dehydration, you have to get milkshakes in and things like that. So,
But also, your central nervous system is absolutely like
it's everything.
cattle trucks
Yeah, it is,
after a
yeah.
fight. Like, you don't know whether you're coming or going. Do you feel? Because when I've come out
It's
of
about
the
the
ring,
mental rest as
yeah,
well.
my head is. I'm so wired.
Yeah.
But then you
Everything's
suddenly
a bit
crash.
of a blur, yeah. And then there's always that anti-climax on the Sunday morning after a fight.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, all of that for what? It's all done now. Just move on. Everything moves on. So you can't get too bogged down. Just get on to the next thing.
Do you celebrate for Chinese after every
Chinese
fight?
on a Sunday night, yeah. Saturday night, you're all
the last time, not this fight, the last fight before, where was that? That was at Wembley as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Damiani, Liverpool.
Yeah.
We come home from Liverpool, fought a tough Italian man, Damiani, 4 rounds. Ordered the Chinese, just me ordering the Chinese on the phone, 5 million views.
Yeah.
Just because people were waiting for the Chinese
Yeah, I know.
order after
Right.
the fight. Yeah.
I got to ask where your target audience is coming from then. If you're getting 5 million views, we're doing
different.
something wrong.
It's just purely the
love
Chinese,
Chinese,
trust
yeah.
me, it's purely the Chinese. Whenever I do a Chinese video, bang.
Yeah.
Have you looked at your analytics though? Who's watching
What,
where?
the demographic is, I said,
It's a lot of men, isn't it? It's a lot
yeah,
of
I've got women now as well,
Yeah.
10% women, where it used to be 1% women, it's now 10%
Yeah.
women, Get women coming up to me in the street now. I was in Las Vegas in a Wynn Hotel with my wife, eating dinner. A gorgeous looking American lady come in with her boyfriend or husband. And she went, "Oh my God, is that Big John?" And she came up to me and I went, "Oh, hello, please meet." She went, "I follow you, I follow everything you do." And then when she sat at the table behind us, her boyfriend or husband went, "Who the hell is that?"
Oh no.
It's just crazy.
That was in a dream. He just made all that up.
No, my wife was there. My wife was there and she went, "This is nuts."
Do you get recognised a lot then?
Everywhere. Wherever I go abroad, everywhere. Non-stop. And I'm not saying that in a flash way.
Sounds like you are.
No,
Don't
I'm
worry,
not.
Sean gets
No,
it as well,
no.
and his ego goes like that.
No, my ego don't go like that. It's just, I mean, I'll probably get recognised a lot easier because I'm a big person as well. So
What it is,
look at you
people
and
come
you're
up to you as well
recognisable.
because they associate you with being friendly and approachable. That's what
I
it
never
is.
turned, you know, like we was in Magaluf and I had to walk through the strip the second night we was there and it was chaos. People were, "I want a photo, because we had to go and do a bit of filming for something else." And I think Elle Brooke even said to me, "Do you never get fed up with it? You never say no?" And I said, "Why would I say no to someone asking me for a photo?" You know what I mean? It's crazy that, and a lot of them, my demographic mainly is probably like 16-year-olds up to like 24. So they're like impressionable young men sort of thing, most of them, you know. So you're not going to turn around and go, "No, I don't want a photo with you."
No, you could do Mike Tyson. I think he charges like 40 quid a photo.
Yeah, well, perhaps I should do that and then perhaps I can retire somewhere. But
We're
no.
doing something similar on the tour, everybody.
Yeah,
we can get
yeah.
a meet and greet in with John, get up close and personal.
Then I'll be known as a money grabber. But listen, when we're on a tour, it's different. People have got to earn money. We've got to pay for the tour, so it's different. But if I'm in the street and anyone wants a photo, who am I to say no? You know, it's just I still think it's crazy when people ask me for a photo. You know, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I just wind Jen up. So if someone comes up and says, "Saw you on YouTube," and Jen says, "Does that happen a lot?" I say, "Not enough."
I remember the first time we were in Waitrose in I was going to say Western Superman in Guildford, and you had a face mask on because it was during COVID and someone recognised you.
Through
And I-
It's the head.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
head.
shiny head.
That's exactly what I
Shiny
said.
With me, it's obviously my size. People recognise your size. With you, you've got
Yeah,
Yes,
the head
it's big,
shape.
shiny,
Yeah.
Or the
alien
voice.
head.
Yeah. Do you get stopped a lot?
Not enough.
But the people, I suppose, if you've got your fan base, your demographic, if people
Yeah.
see you, they're going to ask.
Ours
you
is
for-
different. So when I got out of prison, it was like 98% lads.
Yeah.
But since we got into conspiracies and had David Icon and did all this other content.
David Icke, everything he said's come true, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
There's
Exactly.
no
Yeah,
conspiracy. Yeah.
So we're down to 50% men, 50% women
Oh,
right
that's
now.
changed then, yeah.
And a lot out of America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, I've got, like, when I say following, it's following. We call it following. Australia, America.
I tell you, you'd like to come on here and talk about the conspiracies.
Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce, yeah.
Really?
Have
He'd
you ever
love
thought
it.
about having Joe on?
We love conspiracies.
He goes to a lot of
Yeah.
he goes to a lot of conventions in Arizona,
In
actually.
Arizona.
Yeah, he goes to the.
Oh,
Yeah.
send him our way.
He would be right up.
He's big into.
Yeah.
He believes in like past lives. And he goes to past
Oh,
life
we love all that
conventions and
stuff.
stuff. Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
You talk to Joe. I mean, Joe's a good friend of ours. You talk to him and he gets deep and he
He goes down a
believes
few
what he's
rabbit
saying.
holes. Yeah.
He's not just he believes.
Once
what
we
he's
was
saying.
talking, we was in Vegas in training camp and we was talking about poltergeists and there was a lamp above his head and we was talking about how they can change and touch things in the house and on the light started flickering above our head and
I'm
he
all
went, see,
about that.
and he went, see, that's them letting us know, but I'm a guardian and I'll guard you, so don't worry.
See?
Jen took me to a haunted forest near
I
Bath.
was so
In
scared.
Bath, I've been
Sally
to
in the
Bath.
woods.
Sally in the
I
woods,
was scared the
no.
living daylights out of me when it started flashing above his head. It was scary.
It's
like he was awake.
I'm not a believer, but I'm not a disbeliever because I don't know what's out there. You don't know what's. Do you know what I mean?
It was weird. It was
You
odd.
just don't know.
You can feel the energy though, can't
odd.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're sitting in
I just
Las
prefer,
Vegas late at night and he's talking to you.
to leave them things alone. That's what I
Yeah.
try and do because I don't want to disturb any of that.
No.
Yeah.
No, whereas Sean
Scary.
wants to poke the bear and he'd do like Ouija boards and all that, whereas I'm not keen on any of that.
Do you go to haunted houses and scary places then?
So since we've diversified from prison stories into like Bigfoot, supernatural,
Paranormal
we've
stuff.
gone out, haven't we, with the GoPros and ghost detection equipment in various woods. And Jen didn't tell me because she gets
I
shit
turned the
scared.
machine off.
She turned it off before we went out so it won't beep and she won't get too scared. So I'm going around hoping for some.
There's
There's no
nothing.
beats coming.
There's no beats coming. And do you truly believe that there are like spirits and supernatural?
I do,
Yeah.
but I've never seen one. But my mum's got some horrific stories of. There's a cottage we grew up with near Bradford-on-Avon, and horrific poltergeist stories.
Yeah.
And my mum and my stepdad, who are separated, that they're not best of friends, will tell exactly the same story. So it does creep me out. But I've never seen anything, and touch wood, I never will. But you've
I think
had
there's imprints of certain energy in places where there's atrocities. So when I was in
I agree
Supermax,
with
there was
that,
the death row where they executed people. You could feel it
I
there.
100% agree with that. I felt it when
Yeah.
I went to Warsaw. I felt it. I felt that because the massacres and obviously that 90% of the city was flattened in World War II, and you can feel the death. You can feel the eeriness of it. You know, and how quiet everyone was so quiet.
Yeah.
Like you
old
can,
switch.
yeah.
Auschwitz.
Auschwitz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there as well. Yeah,
Have you?
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But on a lighter note, let's move on.
Right, yeah, let's talk about chicken balls again.
So we were on.
Very interesting.
We were on your life story, but we took a little detour.
Yeah.
So we left off with you getting married at a young age.
Yeah.
How did it
Charlotte?
feel to get married so young?
Well, we got married 1996, 2nd of November, St Michael's Church in Gideon Park. Still live around the corner now. I mean, how old? I was 23. Charlotte was 21 when we got married. But we're talking like it was sort of a lifetime ago now. You know, people were getting married younger then. I know I sound like an old person, but I wouldn't want my sons getting married at that young age now. You know, but we stood the test of time. It was the right thing to do, and I wouldn't change anything at all. You know, neither would Charlotte. So, but we had Johnny. I was 25 and Charlotte was 23, and then we had 3 under the age of 4. Yeah, 3 boys. Bang, 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 one after the other.
What was it like on your wedding day?
It was good, old-fashioned wedding day. You know, like one of the last sort of old-fashioned weddings. A sit-down buffet, go up and do a buffet, then a good disco. Everyone had a
love a
good
buffet.
time. Like a proper old-school sort of wedding. You know, before you paid £50,000 for a wedding, and I still don't believe in that. I still don't believe in spending fortunes on getting married, especially when you've got mortgages and bills and rents and rates. You know, have a good day, have a great time, but don't waste your.
What
all your
music
money.
did you play?
It's just like
Probably Rick Astley.
Rick Astley. My first girlfriend was out of Newtonley Willows back in the Rick Astley days.
Rick Astley, bit of Kenny Thomas.
Kenny Thomas
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Never gonna do.
Rick Astley was, he still is. I mean,
We
he's-
love Rick Astley.
Yeah,
Me,
Rick
William and
Astley's
Henry
great.
love Rick Astley
Yeah.
still.
Stock Aitken and Waterman.
Yeah, those.
Do you remember the Hitman and Her?
Yeah. You had
Michaela
all the-
Strachan and
You had all the Kylies, you had Sonia,
Yeah.
you know, you
What
had
was
them all.
your first dance song?
Celine Dion, I Will Go On. Yeah.
Oh,
And when it comes on in the radio, Charlotte always cries when she hears
Does
it.
she?
Probably thinking, what the hell have I done?
Yeah, that's why she's crying. Yeah.
What's your preferred karaoke tracks then?
I like Johnny, I like a bit of country, but I like a bit of rock, like soft rock, but Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses, White Snake.
Henry sung Bad Medicine, Bon Jovi, when we was in Portugal.
He's
That was
funny, he's funny.
William
Karaoke
likes
is funny.
Frankie,
When you-
Frankie Valli.
Yeah, Frankie Valli. Love a bit of Frankie Valli.
Yeah.
William and
Yeah.
was it William and Henry or William and you saw him live?
Henry and
The
William
O2.
saw Frankie Valli live.
Yeah, saw the actual Frankie Valli.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
That's good.
80 odd years of
A
age.
really
and
good
still-
film that as well, isn't it? It's that
Yeah.
film.
He's
Yeah.
brilliant.
So what was your life like in your 20s?
20s just working hard basically. You know, just the children coming along. But we had a lot of fun as well. We used to go to Devon, caravan holidays, Cornwall. You know, we weren't elaborate. We had the odd holiday abroad, but it was just about purely working and like paying your bills and getting what you can, enjoyment, and like helping the boys as they're like little boys, doing what you can. He was always over the park with them, football, rugby, just being a dad basically.
And when the first baby comes, how did your life change?
Do you know what? It's like you think, how am I going to do it? How are we going to deal with it? Because like me and Charlotte never had anything like that. We had nieces and like obviously saw them, but it's different. But as soon as you become a parent, you change. That first day, that's your baby. Nothing else matters in life, and you just get on with it. You know, it just comes naturally. Really
as soon as I
does.
found out I was pregnant, I changed. You know, I became chill.
You actually did.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
chilled the fuck out. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
You got to, because there's something greater than you now. You know, you got a purpose bigger than yourself. And when you're a parent, you would die for your child. Do you know what I mean? It goes without, you wouldn't even think about it. So it just changes you like that. But the joy it brings your heartache as well, you know, worry and stress. But it's all part of it. It's all part of the journey.
What about holding your baby for the first time?
Naturally, I gave him his first bottle. He was looking at me, eyes like he was £10 free when he was born.
£10
63 centimetres, too big for the casket thing, too big for all his baby clothes.
I can beat that. I was 10, 11.
Wow.
I was £4. So there you go. Yeah,
You've made up for it now.
yeah. But when
Are
I
you
first,
sure about that,
I
John?
was. Honestly. I was then what I am now. I've got this problem called being premature.
That's nice.
Yeah, BOSH. But yeah, I remember the midwife said, give him his first bottle. Charlotte's like, I'm thinking, I can't do this. You know, the little bottles, the little half bottles. And I just remember him opening his eyes wide, and I'm looking at him thinking, this don't look like a newborn. It looks like a 3-4 month old baby. You know? Yeah. But all our children have been like over sort of £9, £10, so healthy size.
Was he a sleeper or a crier?
Sleeper. I used to,
Sleeper.
every night I remember, in our old house, we've only moved once, in our old house, a few roads away from where we live now, Charlotte always used to give him his last feed. Let Charlotte, she shattered, you know, you're going to have it when you're a new mum. And I remember I used to sit there every night without fail, used to sit in my armchair, he'd be there, I'd be feeding him, and we'd listen to classical music.
Oh.
Just used to listen to classical music, and he just used to sit there and content. But
Like
I
he's
used
now.
to,
Yeah.
I used to love it
Nice
as well.
and relaxed.
You know, nice and chilled before you go to bed. And I used to put him to bed. And, you know, whether you can say it or not, I'm like sort of a man's man. I'll do the man's roles and Charlotte does the woman's roles. Whether you can say that or not, I don't know anymore. But that was how we grew up. But I always knew she needed a bit of a rest. And I liked the time bonding. And I think I've done that with pretty much all of them, you know.
See, Sean's learning some.
Yeah, and I'm trying to encourage Jen to have a second and a third child. What advice?
I'll tell you my advice to anybody. When you've got 2 children, it's easy. 2 children are easy. As soon as you got 3, you might as well have 8.
John's still stabbing.
No, but you might as well have 8 because holidays, cars,
Yeah, dynasty.
you're snookered. So, you know, going from 3 to 4, no different. As soon as you go from 2 to 3, massive difference.
How many do you want?
Well, dynasty, don't we, at this rate? With 8 at least.
No, Sean wants.
Listen, I always say you're blessed as a parent if you have 1 child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't have children, and you're blessed if you can have 1 child. You know, you're so lucky.
And amen to that.
Yeah, you're so lucky.
Decompress.
Yeah, but you know what it is though, like anyone, man, woman, if you work hard and work
just wanna
stressful,
relax.
sometimes on weekends you just want to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, the best nights for me are when Saturday night at home, Chinese, watch a video or watch a film, you know what I mean, and just bag of sweets afterwards,
Yeah, lovely.
bottle of wine, nothing. They're the best nights.
But it's like we just said though, isn't it? And it's the same for you guys as well. When you're with people all the time and it's showtime. You have to be on.
And you've always got
You're
to be.
on.
You always got to be approachable to people.
Yeah.
And talk. It's hard to do.
It's hard.
you know?
It's relentless all day.
It's hard
day
to do.
out.
And then what I find is when you get the drunks.
Oh.
I can take anyone, but you know the drunks,
Yeah.
and they won't leave off. They won't leave off, and you just feel like saying, "For God's sake," do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chewing your ear off. So.
Oh yeah.
And the smell of alcohol
Same
there
old
in
thing.
your face.
And they want to grab you.
Oh.
They want to grab you. They want to grab your head.
God.
And they grab all like, and some
There's
of them.
no spatial awareness.
Yeah, they like really want to grab you. I'll just give it back. When someone grabs me hard, I can't stand that. That's one thing I can't stand.
My natural reaction is an elbow, you see.
I had one man the other day, he grabbed all my neck like that. He grabbed all my neck, but really
No, he
pulling
didn't.
it. So I grabbed his neck and went, "We can both do that, mate."
Yeah, good for
And
you.
he went, "Oh, you know."
Sorry.
But there you go. It's a different matter.
Yeah, that's for a podcast.
Yeah.
That was all recorded.
That's all right. You can say that. That's fine because I'll put on because I'll put up with anything off anyone. But when someone wants to grab my neck and pull me, expect to get it back.
So please don't grab
Yeah, no, yeah.
drunken grabbers.
Drunken grabbers,
Message
yeah.
to all the viewers.
Drunken grabbers. I'll probably said that now, and every time I go out.
You attract it, yeah.
Do you ever have any problems like that, Johnny?
One sticks out in my mind. I was watching Joe Joyce's fight, and there was a bloke like really drunk. He's probably the worst one I've had. Just tapping me, oh, photo, like, but pushing really hard, like. And I thought, I'm gonna have to. This is the first time I'm gonna have to throw someone away off of me. But I don't get it as bad because I don't go to the nightclubs as
Well,
often.
I'm in the nightclubs late
Yeah.
night, so listen, 99% of people they're great.
Yeah.
They really are.
It sounds like we're moaning. I'm not moaning. Yeah.
They're great, and it's a pleasure to meet these young people because they get a lot of bad press, young people, and they are brilliant. But you get the odd 1%, like anything, and that's what it is. And when they're drunk, it makes it worse. Yeah. They're probably, when they're not drunk, as good as gold. But I've got to say, the people I meet, the youngsters, it restores your faith in the young, you know, because they do get a lot of bad press, but there's a lot of good youngsters out there.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying the podcast. Here's a word from our sponsor, AG1. Why do you like AG1 so much, Jem?
So before I start my morning routine, I always have a glass of AG1 with my coconut water to kickstart my day.
We drink it literally every day.
And that's because AG1 helps build your health first foundation up.
Why take a bunch of different things when you can just mix 1 scoop of powder in water every day? AG1 replaces your multivitamin, probiotic, and more in one simple drinkable habit. If you want to take ownership of your health, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/Sean, SHAUN. That's drinkag1.com/Sean. Check it out. Thanks for supporting our sponsor, AG1. Link is in the description box.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you might find them in Timepiece in Exeter.
Timepiece in Exeter.
Repping that.
The Holy Grail.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
So you went to Exeter Uni to study history.
Yeah.
So at that point, you didn't think you were going to go on and do boxing?
No, I thought I was going to be a barrister. That's what my aim was, to do a history and do a law conversion course and become a barrister. But I'm happy I do what I do now. I've done a bit of work experience at as a solicitor. It just wasn't for me. Like what you said about, I'd rather a barrister would suit me better than a solicitor because you're out and about, you're meeting people, go and do the cases and things like that. But yeah, sitting in an office is not something I find enjoyment out of for me. No.
And did all your kids go to uni? I'm just asking.
No, well, Johnny is the eldest. Henry, second oldest. He done like when he was working Lloyd's of London degree apprenticeship, so he done it while he was sort of working, which was good. And William, he's working up the city. He never went to uni. He's done sort of similar.
Insurance as well.
Yeah. He's doing really well. William is, but and Hetty's 15. I said to Hetty, I think she should go uni because of the sports, and you know, it's different pathways for everybody. You know, it was what Johnny wanted to do because of the sport he was doing. It worked.
I think a lot of people get hung up on going to university now. I had a great time at uni. It's a great experience, but it's not the only path that people can take. And people seem not been told or been deceived that university is something you have to do. But yeah, if you do a STEM subject like science, technology, anything like that, I think it's obviously the path you've got to take. But I don't think you've got to go to university to get on in life because a lot of people get a head start when they go straight into the city.
I can see pros and cons in both.
Yeah.
Definitely. But it's got to suit you as an individual. You know.
Did you go to uni?
No, I didn't. Neither did Richard Branson, just saying.
Yeah.
A lot of
at school, it gets pumped to you all the time. Get to university, go to university. But
Yes, exactly.
But it's not necessarily a bad thing because you can use your time well. You can do really well at university. But I think what the Europeans do well is they don't just advocate that; they advocate vocational skills as well. And I think that's what we need to do a bit more here.
I've always had the opinion that you should go to uni if it requires you to go to uni.
Yeah.
The job you
do.
like
a doctor, a vet.
Yeah,
you know, totally.
But not go to university just because
you can get stuck in a rut at university. You can get in a comfort zone where
just because your mates are going and you just want to go.
You can wake up at 11 a.m. You can party every night and just get drunk. Like you don't use your time correctly.
Exactly, eating noodles. Yeah. So you've instilled, all your kids seem really intelligent. What would you say is it that you've taught them? That
they're not intelligent. It's Johnny's not intelligent. It's just
they all seem to do
they're
that.
hard workers.
Yeah,
they apply themselves as best they can. I mean, Johnny used to worry about exams. Used to be up fretting. I mean, he got all A's in your A levels, didn't you? A stars,
2 A stars,
GCSEs, all A stars. But it's not because he's more intelligent than anyone. It's because he applied himself as much as he could.
I don't think to pass the exams you have to have a level of intellect and the critical thinking side of it, especially in essay subjects. But I think it's if you've got the big bank of knowledge up in your head, I remember writing out A3 sheets of paper with really tiny bits of writing. I'd write it out 3 times in my head. Then I'd put it onto cue cards and I'd put it onto little post-it notes. So the information is ingrained in my memory. So I basically got a photographic memory of every single argument that you can lay out. It took me hours and hours and hours to know it all off by heart, and then I'd apply that to an exam. So it's like the amount of hours I spent doing that.
He did. He never used
I
to
didn't
go
drop
out.
a single on my
Never
Russian
used to go
Revolution essay questions. There's 400 marks out of all the questions, and I dropped 2 marks out of 400. So it's just where I like memorised everything in my head. When I think back, I was an absolute nutcase, but I couldn't get it out of my head.
It's just the way he is. He just wants to be the best he can be at what he's doing. And it's not.
I like the competition side of it as well.
It's not
like
intelligence.
I had a few mates who are really good at essays as well and really clever. And I just thought I want to beat them as well. So it's a bit of healthy competition as well.
And Henry was the same, clever boy. Yeah. William's the same. He knows how to party a little bit more, William, but he's an intelligent young man.
Yeah,
but he's
William's
got
probably more intelligent than both of us.
But he's got personality, William. And I'd say to anyone, yeah, schoolwork's good and great, but for me, my experience in life is how you communicate with people, how you get on, how you come out of a room, how you leave them people. It's great to do your schoolwork because it shows you can apply yourself, but have your personality. Like even Hetty the other day, she was told, I won't go into it, told by a netball coach, oh, she's very bubbly when we're doing the training sessions. She's a 15-year-old girl. I want my daughter to be bubbly. Absolutely. I want her to have a personality. I don't want her to stand there and go, oh, I'm too scared to talk. As long as you're respectful for people, don't disrespect anybody, but don't be afraid to be who you are. That's all life is, I think. That's all it is.
What would you say the biggest lesson is that I can teach my son?
Just always, you have arguments, you're going to have arguments, never go to bed on an argument. You know what I mean? Try and sort it out. But you'll find it as you go along. You'll know your son. Do you know what I mean? You'll work it out together. And what's right for someone else isn't necessarily right for him. And don't follow the leader either. Just be your own.
And
be
enjoy
your own
yourself.
person.
Enjoy whatever you do.
Enjoy life.
Saturday night Chinese.
Yeah. Listen, that's all we look forward to sometimes. I can remember getting up 3 in the morning, every morning during the week, and it'd be Wednesday morning and you think, when you get up, you think, what day is it?
Lockdown was the one. When we was working week in, week out.
We worked lockdown,
We worked every day from 15-hour days.
Cut long story short.
With the cheese?
We lost our cheese business overnight.
Cheese
95% went. Because we used to serve restaurants and things like that. And we served the catering butchers, shout out SR Cooper Meats, they sponsor Johnny. And he said to me, John, look, we serve restaurants. We've got no restaurants to serve. Why don't you serve people's houses with the meat? And we didn't have an online presence then. No one knew who he was. So one week, I think we sold about £60,000 worth of meat from nothing. And we just used to go out 16, 17 hour days.
We had to package it all up, but we kept getting the orders. Henry kept getting the orders wrong.
Henry just used to get orders from, we'd be doing our route. Right, you're working 17 hour days.
Pitch black as well, we've got no light on the back
and
of the van.
because Henry would have girls messaging him, oh, can you do this one, can you do that one, can you do this one, adding it on. And my wife Charlotte used to take the orders, and the packs of steak,
wrong.
A pack of steak was 2 steaks in a pack, and she used to get it wrong. Is that 1 pack or 2 packs?
Yeah, she said 3 steaks, that's someone ordering 6, and then we got to miss.
And we used to turn up at people's houses with the wrong orders. And listen,
Saturday night was the only night we had off, and that was the best.
But you couldn't, when we was out working, you couldn't go to the toilet anywhere. The petrol garages wouldn't let you in. You couldn't go anywhere. And I can remember just of a Sunday, we used to have a Sunday off, and it was baking hot weather, and we just used to have barbecues, all the meat we had left over, barbecues, and we enjoyed it. But getting back to what I was talking about before, when you work hard, you get up 3:30 every morning, you think, what day is it? It's Wednesday, only 2-3 more days till my Chinese, Saturday night, because you knew you could relax. Because Saturday day you'd probably have like a lot of the boys played for district or school football, and then you knew after that, when that was done, you could then relax and have Saturday night and Sunday.
Is that when it started then, like this Chinese phenomenon?
Chinese has always been there.
But
I'll tell you when the phenomenon actually started. There's a little story, right, and it brings my dad into it again. We was out with our friend Steve Potts, his family, West Ham legend, played 500 games for West Ham. His son's just won promotion with Luton, and Freddie Potts was just in a West Ham team that won the European trophy or whatever. Cut long story short, we was up Bordello's in Wapping for their anniversary meal, had a lovely meal, Italian, and then just along the road from that is a pub called the Prospect of Whitby. My dad used to drink in there as a young man because it's round Stepney Green, round Stepney area, and we said, should we go in there, we'll have one. Right, we'll go in there, we'll have one. Well, I got absolutely... Steve paid for the meal, right, treated us, right. I paid for the drinks in the pub. It cost me more for the drinks in the pub than it did for the meal. That's how much we drunk, okay? I was absolutely drunk, got home. Oh, I'm hungry, let's get a Chinese. all of the Chinese, and this is when it took off. And I think it's my dad sending a little help me. I went in with the box. I went, who wants a fucking Chinese?
All right, 10 million.
10 million views, bang. And it just like, and that's when everyone, who's this guy with the Chinese? Who's this guy with the Chinese?
Did you do BOSH straight away?
No,
Or
no.
did that
BOSH. I used to do the Chinese. That's where it took off. And then one video, I just went BOSH like that. Didn't think nothing of it. And then my next video I done, didn't do BOSH. Must have had 300 comments. Why are you not doing BOSH? We love the way you do BOSH. Why are you not saying BOSH? Where's the BOSH? Where's the BOSH? So I said, all right, it's the way I said it. So I used to go BOSH like that, and people loved it. And it just took off from there. And I was in the swimming pool in France. Loved France. Loved driving down there with the family. It was in the middle of France in the Jura region, 100 degrees in the swimming pool, just us with this lovely house. And Henry come round, he filmed me, and he went, what you got to say? And I just went, well, we're in France, we've got to say Le Bosch. The Le Bosch, then we done Spain, El Bosch, Italy, Il Bosch, Germany, Z Bosch. And that's just took off.
Because Sean didn't know what BOSH was until I explained it. Because we used to say when we were younger, like, put something in your mouth, BOSH, like, gone.
BOSH, we used to watch BOSH. Helen Pace, old comedians, used to have
Of
have a series called The Bosch Men.
Yes.
So we used to say BOSH when we was children. You know, just BOSH, like that. And then Tom Skinner on The Apprentice said it, and he's like sort of our mate. And I didn't even think about saying it, but it's because I said it and everyone wanted it. It's just crazy.
It's the way you say it that I like.
Yeah. But the variations have took it to like the Americans love the yee bosh. And like the Greeks, yamas bosh, they love it. They love it, you know. It's just it's stupid, but it's fun.
Yeah, but
It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So how does it feel that the stars have aligned for you to be totally yourself, eat Chinese, chat?
Well, that one I think was my dad, because I was paralytically drunk, and I don't condone getting drunk, but every now and again I'd had a bit of bad news that day, business wise, money wise. So I thought, sorry, I'm going to enjoy myself. Do you know what I mean? And I enjoyed myself in the pub where my dad used to drink as a young man with his mates. Went home, someone filmed me going, who wants an effing Chinese? And then the next morning, everyone's going, oh my God, have you seen that video? Henry put it on somewhere. And it just like, we had people in China, like Chinese bloggers putting me on, and it's just, it's crazy. It's just like, you know, how things like that take off, and all these appearances later, and here we are now talking to you, and we've got another tour coming up, and just doing things I could only dream of doing. Earning a living, not earning fortunes, but earning a living in a better way.
Being yourself.
Being myself and meeting people all the time, which is great. I love meeting people. You know, Charlotte sometimes says to me, oh, you talk to anyone, but that's me. I love talking to people. You know, I love to find out stories. You know, what people
That's what I keep telling Jen, we're blessed. We just get to meet the most interesting people, hear the stories.
No, you are though. You are.
Yeah.
If you're sitting here, it's like we've got our little podcast thing called the Big John Chinese Sit Down. We filmed it last night. We mainly have boxers around. We'll have to get you on it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll have to get you on it.
I will out-eat anyone on
it's
Chinese, just saying.
It's just Chinese round our house, because obviously that's a big thing, and we have like a few sort of sportsmen and that. And for us to do that, it's just amazing. Do you know what I mean? You know, we're sitting there eating Chinese with people we can only dream of meeting.
I think you should get Jen and Sean round whilst Jen is still preggo.
Yeah, we don't have babies around our house. We don't have crying babies.
Because you're eating more at the minute.
Yeah.
So this could be, there could be a food off.
Yeah, I think you'll give me a run for my money at the moment. Yeah. I'm a bit worried.
You were mentioning your wife. I was going to ask, what does your wife think of this?
She just thinks it's crazy, you know.
Does she like it?
She likes it because, as I say, during lockdown, we nearly lost our house. We nearly lost everything. We didn't get any help. I think we had one grant from the government. That was it, because we was in a certain category. We didn't have a restaurant, but we served them. We couldn't get help. It was just a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. We had savings. They all went. We got the bounce back loan. I think I'm one of the only people that's paying back the bounce back loan.
I am.
Yeah, I'm paying it back. I know people that got the bounce back loans, buy cars with them, put deposits on flats. I got it to keep my business going, so I didn't have to go bankrupt. So I keep going, and I'm paying it back. So we've had hardships, not as hard as other people. Some people have lost people's lives. Some people have lost their businesses, they've lost their houses, but we nearly did. We came together as a family, worked hard, and now we're not out of it yet, but it's a better way to be, much better. And so in that respect, she's grateful. But she does get a bit aggy sometimes. When she comes back, I'm at nightclubs. You have your photos taken with everyone, and there's some like good-looking girls at the nightclubs. Who was that you had your photo with? Who was that? Who was that? You know, but it's part of it. You know, I'm an old man. There's nothing sinister about it. It's just what you have to do.
Sean doesn't get that, so I don't worry.
No. He can't believe it. Sometimes when he comes with me and he's like younger, I'll feed the girls, or I'll say girls, they're like 20, 21. I'll feed them prawn crackers out of my hand. And they're just like, oh my God. Yeah.
Stupid.
But there
Honestly,
you go.
prawn crackers out your hand, that sounds erotic. Right?
Yeah, I know,
You could write a book on
yeah.
that, John.
Not when you know where my hands have been. But it's all fun. It's all light-hearted. It's all good, and it's not easy. Because like the other day, I drove to where was we? Loughborough. Yeah. I drove to Loughborough and back. I drove to Hereford and back the same night. I pulled over on the way back from Hereford. I thought, right, I've got to have a sleep because it's too long to drive back. You leave the club at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3.5 hour drive home, and I was tired because I was in Loughborough the night before. I pulled over in a lay-by, middle of nowhere. I turned the engine off. I'm laying down, put my seat back. I'm looking all around. There's all of her bushes and everything. I thought, sod this. I thought it might be your like haunted woods. I started the car up and drove home.
There's a few of those spots.
Normally I
in
go
the
to a
UK.
hotel, but you know, like I just wanted to go home. It was Father's Day the next day. I wanted to be at home. So if I stay in a hotel, then I'm not leaving there till 10 o'clock. I'm not getting home till 2 o'clock. I just wanted to get home for Father's Day. But I wasn't hanging about in that lay-by because it was shifty.
Isn't that lovely? The thing that's striking me most about you, John, is your absolute love for your family.
Yeah.
It's
I love
lovely.
my family a bit too much because sometimes I
No,
put them
it's
before
not.
everything, before myself. But now you are having times now where they're older. We can do things like Magaluf on Monday. Charlotte's coming. We're having 2 nights, and we'll have a nice night together. You know, after the first night. But yeah, listen, you'll know when you're a parent. To me, a parent, your family, your children come first.
Exactly.
If they're not going to come first, don't have kids. It's like having a dog. If you're not going to treat your dog as a member of the family, don't have one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my mentality.
And dogs are better than people. I just want to say that.
Give me dogs any day of the week.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I love dogs. We've got 4.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, we've got 4. One of them's a little sod. I won't mention which one. Johnny's
Rips,
got a dog.
Chews everything.
2
Everything.
settees, ripped all the back off them off.
Lawnmowers.
Jet washes. He's a lovely dog. Wonderful dog. But you leave him.
What is he?
XL American Bulldog.
Strong fella.
Yeah, he's
But
lovely.
he's not a
He's not
massive
aggressive
one.
at
He's a big
all.
boy.
He's not aggressive.
He's well built and stocky, but he's not
he's
aggressive
the
at all.
cutest, softest dog you'll ever meet. But you leave him, and he's
Arnie's the
thinking,
best
"Sod you."
behaved one.
We've
the
got Rottweiler.
and he's
Rottweiler's
massive.
a wonderful dog.
But he's the best behaved one.
He's a wonderful dog. Yeah, wonderful.
So, have you had any negative? Had any
Plenty.
negative experiences since
Not
going through
negative
this?
experiences. No one says anything to your face. But online,
Online.
you fat bastard, you're going to have a heart attack. You've got diabetes. Now, listen, let me just tell you, before we get into this, I'm overweight, I know that, and I'm going to try and lose weight. I've lost weight, I'll put it back on. I was always super fit as a young man. Used to box, used to play football. I've had tests with doctors, with everything. My heart's fine, diabetes, I haven't got it. All my cholesterol's fine. And they said to me, your fat is purely outside of your body. You're still fit underneath from where you was fit as a young man. But that's not going to last forever. I know that. You can't keep putting weight on and being fit. But the abuse you get is, and I'm not bothered about it because I couldn't care less. I've been fit, I've been fat. Give me fat any day of the week because I'm a lot happier. That's just what I'm saying. But I know I need to get fitter. But there are people out there, I get messages every day from overweight people. I think overweight people kill themselves more than any other demographic. And I get messages every day, and like overweight people say, I'm so glad you're standing up for, you know, and when I get hurtful, hateful messages, I'll re-put them on my story and tag in the people and say, look, you're not bothering me, but please think about what you say, because other people are. And 9 times out of 10, the people that do it will come back to me and apologise, say, look, I'm really sorry, when you put it how you put it, I didn't mean to do it. You do get the odd one that comes back even more, then I just block and move on. But I just try and highlight that a little bit. Now, I'm overweight, it's nobody else's fault apart from mine. But just because someone's overweight or hypernourished, as we like to call it, don't mean that you can be hurtful and hateful to them, to the fact where you're going to make them think about doing something to themselves. You know, so that's all I mean. I couldn't care less. I'm enjoying my life. We're all going to die. And I'm not saying that, you know I need to be healthier, but I'd rather be here enjoying myself than not. So, but other people, they can't take it. And some people, they're overweight, they can't help it, they might have an illness, might have depression, they might have other things. I'm overweight purely because he brings home food every bloody day of the week. And I go out enjoying myself. So I've just got to change my habits to make myself a bit healthier. But yeah, you do get a lot of hate. But the love far outweighs the hate, trust me. You know, you might put a post on, you might get 6,000 likes, you might get 5 negative comments. So, do you know what I mean? Yes. But Twitter's the worst one. Twitter, I think, is dreadful. Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely dreadful. A few times I thought, should I come off it? You know what I mean? Just because it's just not worth it on there. Because you have got literally people, professional haters.
Yes.
Professional haters.
That is the thing about social media. It gives, you know, some of the worst voices in the world a platform, but also it's a massive tool for...
But listen, we put ourselves out there. I'm putting myself out there eating Chinese, so you're going to get some abuse because I'm promoting eating Chinese, eating this. But I'm not. I'm trying to do it in a happy sort of way. And when I do a Chinese order, people don't realise it's for a family of 6. People think you order it just for yourself. Do you know what I mean? So, but I do put myself out there. So you've got to expect some sort of, oh, you fat this, you fat that. But some of it is like terrible. And you think, it don't bother me, but there's other people out there it does. And I must get 50 messages a day from people saying, thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's
That's
nice.
good.
Yeah, so, you know, look, I'm not saying I'm anybody, I'm not. But when I see a hurtful message, I'll just repost it and just put a comment underneath it.
I'm going to start doing that, you know.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll tag them in. Because they're all right, they can put it on your post. So if they can put it on my post, then it can go on my story. Do you know what I mean? So,
Right,
yeah.
give me a challenge now.
No,
Cheers.
only to the hurtful ones.
Yeah,
I can take, like even when Johnny boxes, you have people, if Johnny knocks someone out in 1 or 2 rounds, they're a bum. If Johnny beats him on points, he's a bum. There's never, you know what I mean?
You can't please everyone.
No, and we can take criticism with Johnny from boxing when it's constructive. Of course we can. He's learning. He's still got a lot to learn.
I can take it wherever it is.
But when you get he don't care at all. But when you get the idiotic comments,
Yeah.
I just think, why, you know, idiots.
But everyone who sits and watches the fight at home, let's remember they're the best fighters.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They're the best. They know what they're talking
Well, we
That's
about.
what I mean. People, it's like, I'm not like Johnny Nelson, a famous boxer, said it before. Civilians
Yeah.
will never understand what it's like. So
no
don't
clue.
try and tell
But
them.
people can have an opinion.
They can have an
because they're
opinion.
paying
I'm
their
paying
money.
to come and watch me fight.
Yeah.
They go and pay to get their tickets. They come and watch. They can say people can say what they like, negative or positive, as long as they keep watching.
It's the idiotic comments. You know, the ones that are just there, just to bang. You know, so we deal with them how we deal with them.
Wankers in Nanny's basement.
Yeah, exactly. It is, and they're all faceless. They're all faceless accounts. You know, you very rarely get someone having a pop with their face there and who they are. You know, but it's social media for you. It's got his plus points. It's got his bad points.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So have you got a secret up your sleeve for how you're going to continue to move forward with your new celebrity status?
That's a good question, because we speak to Adam, Johnny's manager, and he says you've got to have something to create longevity. And we've had a few people want to back a restaurant, because obviously you're known for food. So is that the way forward? I don't know, because restaurants are struggling. It's a hard, can you earn a living? You know, I suppose with my following, I don't like to call it fan base, with my following, people will want to come and eat in the restaurant if you're there. Because
Do
like,
a range of BOSH food.
yeah, exactly. Well, listen, we promote the Blue Orchid Chinese
Or you can eat
restaurant.
buffet.
Or you can eat buffet. We promote the Blue Orchid Chinese restaurant in Romford. Don't get paid by them. They look after us when we do our Chinese sit down. But I've been eating in there with Charlotte before Johnny was born.
Oh, lovely.
We used to go out. We used to go out when we was going out of each other. Go there, then go to the pictures, and it's the same family in there now. Obviously the people that was running it, Ray's older, and his sons are running it, and we're in there all the time, and it is the best Chinese. But there's people going there from Ireland, from Scotland, from up north, just to go to the Blue Orchid because it's where we eat our Chinese. So I'm glad we brought them. You know, it's a lovely Chinese. It should be enjoyed. But if people are doing that for that, if we had our own restaurant, perhaps that could do the same sort of thing. You know, but it's getting the time
I
at the
like
moment.
the sound of that.
Yeah.
Having your own restaurant.
Yeah, it could be because I'm associated with food more than
Yeah,
anything else.
yeah.
So you know, it's
Guest appearances by the sons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So I've got
they'll be eating all the profits.
I've gone on Dragon's Den thinking of ways. I'm like, have you got a favourite sauce, like BOSH sauce?
Someone said to me, another one of Johnny's sponsors, Tony Alvino, got a lovely wine shop in Buckhurst still, and he went, what is it, Big John's punchy kung po sauce. Yeah, because kung po prawns are like our signature dish.
thing, right?
So he went, Big John's punchy. He said you should bring out your own sauce. He's a clever man.
Like Levi Roots.
Yeah, he said you should do something like that. Just like, but we do need some longevity because this is not going to last forever. Not for me. You know, hopefully it lasts for years for Johnny. But what I'm doing is not going to last forever. But at the moment it's okay. I've still got about another 6 months I can see. So,
At least, come
yeah,
on.
At least, let's hope.
We got the tour. We got the tour coming up. So
I'm looking forward to that because, as I said, that scares me a little bit because of it's new to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm used to going out saying boshes and throwing prawn crackers to the crowd and meet and greet.
I think we might do some prawn cracker throwing into the crowd.
Got to do some prawn cracker or chicken ball eating contest or something.
Oh,
like
well,
that.
actually, funny to say that about a contest. We have actually got a contest happening. There's a competition happening to win.
Chinese after the
For
after
2
each event.
people and 2 guests.
Yeah. After the event.
After the event, yeah. So
the
there will be
changing rooms.
competitions running on every single night that John's on tour. We're
Looking forward to it though because we're spending time like with each other and you know the boys will come up and it'll just be.
Romford Army will come and support.
Yeah, of course,
Army will be
definitely.
there.
Looking forward to it.
But we're going to places where there's a few Romford Army hotspots like Cardiff, Glasgow, Dublin, Liverpool.
Yeah, and just to
Middlesbrough.
mention, we are kicking off. Let me just consult.
Little black book.
13th of July in Middlesbrough.
Yeah, we've got to have a Parmo, is it?
A Parma.
Parma.
Is it Parma or Parmo?
It's a Parmo.
Parmo.
Parvo.
James, you know what
Is
it
it
is.
Parvo?
Parmo.
It's Parmo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Parmo.
Parmo.
So yeah, it's a slice of buttered chicken, I want to say, or breaded chicken with just cheese, more cheese, melted cheese,
lovely.
wasn't it? It was, yeah.
Sounds good.
I really quite like the sound of that.
Something
I hate
else.
to break it to you, John. I actually don't like Chinese.
That's all right. We can have an Indian.
Oh yeah, I'll have a ruby.
Yeah, we can have an Indian. Because as I said to you, when we go out and sit down in a restaurant, nice
Yeah.
You could have a
nice
chicken
Indian.
curry from the Chinese.
Yes.
That's my favourite.
I can do that.
Nice Chinese chicken curry is pretty
Oh,
good.
that's my
I might have
favourite.
the odd chicken ball.
Yeah.
But no.
We'll convert you. I think we'll convert you. We'll bring you to Blue Orchid and we'll get B2. I think we'll convert her, won't we, Johnny? Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, Jen's Prego, because I want to see her eat you under the table.
She will. Don't worry about that. That's going to happen.
So Johnny, are you going to try and join your dad on some of these tour dates?
Yeah, I'll try and get along to a couple of them, depending on when they are. But it's always fun. I enjoy going to the nightclub appearances as well. So, yeah, the tour will be good as well. That'd be fun.
That'd be a bit different, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, but yeah, definitely some good places. Dublin would be one I'd love to
Yeah,
go to.
never been to Dublin, never been to
Oh,
Belfast.
do you know it's the biggest city in the world?
Is it?
Yeah, it keeps Dublin.
I was going to say, no, it's not. Tokyo is. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
You can have that.
That's a good joke.
Dad joke.
I'll do that on the first tour. Do you know Dublin's the biggest city in the world? I bet they haven't.
You're going to get prawn crackers thrown at you.
Yeah, I bet they haven't. No, the fan base for Johnny is massive in Ireland.
Really?
Massive. Yeah, absolutely
Is
massive.
there any particular reason why, do you think?
Don't know. I'm not sure.
I think people just take them to Johnny because
Have you done
Big
fights
fighting,
over
big
there?
No.
fighting city in Dublin as well.
No.
Ireland's they love their boxing, don't they? So
Yeah.
and the rugby as well. They probably like the rugby.
do you know the Irish rugby team, 3 or 4 of them, after they beat France in the Six Nations, they're FaceTiming me from the changing rooms. Going, Big John, Bosh, and they've just beat France, and I'm thinking, I said to Johnny, look at this, and we just couldn't believe it, you know. So he's a big following in Ireland, so it'd be good to get over to Dublin and Belfast.
We've got Belfast
As well. Be great to go over to Ireland, and as I say, it's funny how things, because like we've got a big following in. I say we, because Johnny has, I have got a big following in Scotland, Glasgow, but we've got equally from like Rangers and Celtic. So it's funny how you can bridge a
it's
gap.
nice.
Do you know what I mean? You haven't just got one demographic that supports you. So it's weird. It's just weird what's happening. Very weird.
I'm excited. I'll definitely come on one of your tour dates. Probably the Kingston one with you. But and so, what have you got coming out then, John?
Hopefully, find out my fight news soon. I'll talk to my managers tomorrow and just keep rolling. Going into 10-round fights now, so just keeping it rolling, keep building the momentum. So yeah, I'll just get in the gym, start training again, and get ready for the next one. I have a couple of weeks off after every fight, and then get back in.
Because all I keep hearing now, like I said, I'm not massive in a huge amount of knowledge on the boxing scene, but I just keep hearing people blowing smoke up your ass that you're the next big deal.
No, it's good. It's because of obviously the supporters I've got. It's great that they want to come and watch, but the way I fight is entertaining for people as well. I'm aggressive, and I'm going to try and go for the knockout every single time. So
You're aggressive yet calm.
yeah, aggressive in the style, but you've got to have a calm head. I'm trying to calm myself down even more.
What does Mark Tibb say? Less is more.
Less is more, yeah. But it's exciting. People want to watch heavyweight boxing because everyone's big, everyone can punch, and they're going to see knockouts. So
And the thing with
I don't want
Johnny-
to detract from that.
He's not. You got a few like other sort of prospects, we call them. They're good, but they're a bit tentative behind what they can do. Johnny will go for it. There's no ifs or buts.
Yeah.
So you know.
You
I
move
always-
with conviction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to get the job done. But I know it's not always as simple as going over there and knocking someone out. Sometimes you have to have a plan B. When I broke my hand in my 5th fight and I got cut in the first 30 seconds, I knew I couldn't throw my right hand properly, and I probably could have done a little bit better than I did with the right hand, because I kept still trying to throw it in a weird way. But you're not always going to knock them out, so you've got to think about a plan B, and that's what I'm developing at the minute as well.
He's learning. Learning every day.
I only had 4 senior amateur fights and 6 junior fights, so a lot of boxers have about 50 to 100 amateur fights, and I've done it on 10.
Yeah.
So I'm learning as I go.
Was that fight the most challenging when you damaged your hand?
Yeah, that was
He's
challenging.
a Spanish heavyweight champion who's fighting as well.
Here is a word from today's sponsor, Aura.
If you Google someone, you can find out all kinds of personal information about them. This information is accessible because of data brokers who profit by selling your information to robocallers, telemarketers, spammers. You can use my link, https://aura.com. Aura is AURA / Sean Atwood, SHAUNATT Wood, to try 2 weeks for free and see how many data brokers are sharing your info. Also linked in my description box on this YouTube version, or scan the QR code on the screen.
Aura also monitors your emails and passwords to see if they were involved in a data breach and exposed on the dark web, and gives you the recommendations on what to do.
Aura has almost every internet safety tool you'll ever need, all inside one app.
So I got cut in the first 30 seconds. I could feel the blood coming down my eye, but that was experience gained in that fight. I was in front of 2,500 of my own supporters as well. Wow. At Ali Pali, so it was a great atmosphere.
Johnny won every round, but they was competitive rounds.
Yeah, which was good for me.
And I was sitting there, I was with my mate, who was at ringside, and Johnny kept throwing the right hand, looping it. I'm going, what's he doing? I said, he's just got to throw a straight right. And so afterwards, he vanished.
Trying to throw it on that side.
He broke it in the changing rooms before they went out.
No, it was broke for my whole training camp, but it was getting worse and worse. Yeah. It was splintering down. So I splintered it in my metacarpal. It was getting worse and worse, and then in the changing rooms I've cracked it a little bit more, and I thought it was going to be okay. First round I felt alright, and I crunched him in the second round or the end of the first round, and that's when another big crack appeared. So yeah, I went to the doctor after, and he showed all the different cracks and how old they were and when they'd happened. So it was quite interesting to see.
What was your next most challenging fight after that one?
Torero won the O2.
Yeah,
so that was the first one in front of a crowd, and I never fought in front of a crowd. I fought at fight camp in Eddie Hearn's garden before that, which is a small crowd, about 100 people.
You're coming out of lockdown.
And that was the first time I fought in front of the Romford army, and
that was massive.
It was the whole way around the old O2. The bottom of the O2 was full of
the
our
noise
supporters.
was just, because especially after lockdown as well, people wanted to get out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was like ultra.
Yeah.
Me and Charlotte were sitting there, and we were like, they're singing for Johnny, and they're singing like before he's coming out, and we just looked at each other and we just can't believe this.
Oh, how lovely.
You just can't believe it, and it was just the whole way round.
Were they chanting your name? Is that?
Singing
yeah.
a song.
Really
He's got a song.
There's a song.
What's your song?
What song?
There's only one Johnny Fisher, isn't it?
Yeah, like just a chant.
And Henry's son's brought out a song, the Romford Ball song, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The Romford Ball, he's got like a song. Henry's good at, he makes songs.
He makes all the videos.
Yeah,
and stuff.
he's quite
good.
deep.
It's great that people want to come out and spend their money to support me. So
It's the first time that happened then? You got that
rush.
You said
My
your
legs-
next-
How did you
my legs
feel
were
to
My
have
legs
that many
were
people supporting you?
my legs were gone.
Were they?
I was in the it was a weird. It's
Changed your
surreal.
psychology.
Because it's
First
like
time.
the first time experiencing it, like it was just surreal. But I managed to catch him with like a left hook on the side of the head in the second round, and I saw him wobble, and I thought, I've got him now. So it was tough as well, though.
Tough man, because Johnny knocked him down 3 times. So he got
Kept
up
getting
every
back
time.
up, kept getting back up.
Getting back up.
Yeah.
Tough, proper tough man,
Yeah.
But it was good performance, great night. And that was when Eddie Hearn took notice.
Yeah.
Although Johnny's had like a contract with him, that was like, he thought, oh, wow.
And I got my new contract after that, didn't I?
Yeah, he got a new contract after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not surprised.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fought in Sheffield as well. That was great. Liverpool as well. It's not
Good
just
to
fighting
fight
in
away
London.
from London as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day we'll fight in Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who do you want to fight the most now?
There was a guy called Christopher Lovejoy kept calling me out.
In America.
20 knockouts, one defeat, and we thought he was a lot better than what he was, but
He had an exhibition match and
messed it up. Like, it's just
Yeah.
conning me. Like, was building a really good rivalry, and he's just sort of all bark and no bite. So, but for me, it's just about progressing my own path and making sure that I'm progressing as I need to, and I let my managers and promoters sort out the rest. But it's all going to come one day, maybe. Fight Joshua or Fury at the end of their career. Imagine that. That'd be good.
Joshua
I've got nothing but respect. I've got nothing but respect for them guys because
he's still got something there.
they've got enough. They're the best of their era. Tyson's, the Joshua's, the Usyks, the Wilders, and if you can ever get to the level of them guys, you know you've done something well.
I think you're right. In their era, they are.
Yeah.
They are the best. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, Tyson Fury for me is.
We'll
the
look back on this era and think, oh my God, that was good.
Yes,
you know, hopefully
we will.
one or two of them will fight each other before it's over. But we'll look back on this and think
That was
oh
great.
my God.
Like from 2015 to 2020 was a great 5 years for.
Phenomenal.
All I'd like to see AJ fight Wilder.
I'd like
Fury
to
fight
see
Usyk.
AJ and Fury.
And
that
AJ and
needs
Fury.
that needs,
It needs
to happen.
One of them. I'll be happy if we get one of them.
Yeah,
Because boxing very rarely happens as you want it to do.
AJ Fury, that's the one.
That's got to happen.
Yeah, because that'd be great.
Forget the others, AJ
Yeah,
Fury.
I don't want to see anything else.
No.
That's got to happen, and
I'm
I
the
know
same as you.
that Fury's up for it. He's bang up for it.
Yeah,
I think Joshua will be as well. You know, I mean, think of the money they're going to earn in that fight.
hundreds
You know?
of millions.
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy.
make it happen.
Yeah, come on, Eddie. Come on, Tyson.
What do you think of YouTubers fighting like Jake Paul?
Listen, if you want to dedicate yourself and you want to train hard, like a few of them are, like KSI is, who am I to tell you not to do it?
But when they had them two, like,
Some
big
of the
blokes like me
joke
doing
fighters,
it was
It's when
wrong.
people do it and they don't take it seriously and they think they can just turn up
Yeah.
on 3 weeks training. But people like KSI, people like Jake Paul, who have proper training camps, who train with professionals, as long as you know what it is, it's not professional boxing, it's YouTube boxing. If they want to dedicate themselves, then fair play to them, because they've all got massive followings who want to watch them fight and they generate a lot of money. So, yeah.
It's the ones that do take the mickey out of it that
Yeah,
get
you
my
train
vote.
for 2 weeks, don't spar.
You can
don't-
tell they haven't sparred. They get in the ring and they've like,
turning
someone's
their
hitting them,
heads.
they're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, what's this?
That's
Turning their
an
heads.
embarrassment.
You
But
can then tell they haven't sparred at all.
Yeah.
Which is wrong. You should have a test before you can get in that ring, and you should have to do so many rounds of sparring and do it properly.
What do you think of the, what is it, King of the Streets fighting?
I don't know what that is. What's that?
King of the...
No,
no, I
no,
can't listen to
no
it.
rules, no limits.
Oh,
The
no.
biting ears
Yeah.
off and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So basically street fighting.
It's not for me.
No,
It's
there
not for
needs
me.
to be
I'll-
some sort of regulation. There needs to be a bit of code of honour sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
There is no code of
I like the respect that boxing, like martial arts,
That's what boxing. That's what martial arts teaches you.
Yeah,
Respect.
You have to respect your opponent. There has to be some rules.
Yeah.
Otherwise anyone
Otherwise
can
it's
go out on
just
the street and just have a
barbaric,
fight,
yeah.
and
That's not what it's about. Contrary
not
to what
for
a lot
me.
of people believe in, that it's not about respect and honour. Boxing and combat sports is about honour and respect.
Yeah, we interviewed a guy called Bash, and he just got back from a fight, and he lost it because he had the guy's ear stuck in his throat, and he was losing his ability to breathe. Yeah.
Jesus,
I can't, not for the faint heart.
not for me.
it's just I don't see the point of that. It's a bit, it's just
Gruesome.
too
barbaric.
much.
Yeah, just barbaric.
I love a good fight. I love
Yeah,
a
boxing.
good
Boxing.
fight.
You've got the gloves. You've got the respect. You've got
Exactly,
the ref.
but like you say, it's the honour, it's the respect.
Yeah.
You know, I've done Thai boxing, and there's so much respect and honour in that.
Yeah,
And
totally.
you don't really get that in a lot of other sports.
But
you
listen,
know.
if people want to do that, if they want to do it,
Oh yeah, of course.
let them do it. But it's, for me
It's not
personally,
my cup of tea,
watch
but
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I respect anyone who wants to do anything. It's up to them,
Mm.
100%.
So, bit of a deeper question now. Then I'll give it to Johnny first. What's the biggest challenge you've ever had in your entire life?
Biggest challenge. One of the coming back from my injury was quite a big challenge. When I broke my hand in that fight, had a big layoff, and I thought it's about a lot of not a confidence issue, but you've got to have faith in your hands again, because it's very weird as a boxer. If you haven't got faith in your hands, throwing your right hand properly, you're never going to knock anyone out. You're never going to do it. So coming back from that, I fought in Sheffield and knocked the man Spark out on the floor. That was a good mental challenge that I overcome, because it can be psychological. Like my hand was healed, but it's still in the back of your mind. Can I still punch? Is it okay? Because you're throwing all your force through it, and your body's like, should I do it? Should I do it? And I've done it, and I knocked him out. So it's good to overcome that bit of hardship. But yeah, what about you?
Well, obviously getting through lockdown, that was a massive challenge, like we said, for other people. But for me, just like when my dad was on his deathbed, 7 days it took him to die. They said he'd be dead within one when they took away.
That was bad.
It's dreadful, you know. When you
How
see
old were you, John?
12 years ago, so I was 36. Yeah, when my dad died. And as I say, I work with my dad every day of my life. So it's not only my dad going, it's like my best friend, my workmate. But when you see someone that you look up to and respect so much, just struggling for life, and you know there's nothing you can do for them, that's the hardest thing for me, without a shadow of a doubt.
About 6 days.
Yeah, they said they turned everything off. They said, look, there's nothing we can do. They said he'd be gone within 24 hours max. It's 6 days he lasted for. Yeah,
To the end.
yeah. Thankfully, I was there. My wife was there. My mum was there when he took his last breath.
And Dave, wasn't it?
And Dave, my brother-in-law Dave, was there when he took his last breath. So it's just, listen, you know, I'm grateful I got memories with my dad, and that's all I say. Your loved ones, as long as you make memories, you've always got it. You know, no one can take them away from you. But he was taken too soon. But it's life, unfortunately, and it happens to a lot of people all of the time, every day, non-stop. So,
Because I think in one of your other interviews you said something about, you know, you might be, you're saying it generally to people, but like people complain about their mums nagging them and stuff, but they're not going to be there at some point, are they?
I just remember, you know, people say it to you, you look at your phone, I've still got dad on my phone, you know, and there's only, you just wish that would ring. Do you know what I mean? And it's your dad on the end of the phone. And it's not until they're not there. We always take everybody for granted. I mean, my mum come round today, before she come round and we had like a little talk, she was on the phone and I was thinking, oh, for God's sake, mum, for God's sake. But you do, it's just natural. Yeah, but then, you know, she's 75, 76, she's not going to be here all the time. But it's life, you know. You're not going to go around telling everyone you love them all the time. That's just not life either. But just make your memories, just and like when my dad's deathbed, we was talking like, you know, you talk for all these days, you're sitting there, all your memories, you talk about happy memories when you're on holiday. So I think try and have as many holidays as you possibly can as a family, because that's when you can truly relax. You know, during work time, when you're home, you're not really truly relaxed. But when you go away on holiday, even if it's for 2-3 nights, you're totally relaxed and you do make the best memories. So, yeah.
What a lovely note to end it on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the viewers, Ella, just again where the tour's going to commence?
So, thank you, Jen. So the tour is commencing on the 13th of July. We're going to be in Middlesbrough. Then we're going to be going over to Belfast on the 20th, Brighton on the 22nd, Liverpool on the 30th. And then following on from there, we're into September. We've got Leeds on the 7th, Manchester on the 15th, Dublin on the 17th, Oldham on the 22nd, Cardiff on the 25th, Portsmouth 27th, and then the last stop is October the 6th in Glasgow.
BOSH.
BOSH.
Wow.
And Johnny, for your fights then, is there a web page people can go and find out when it's going to be announced?
On my Instagram, you go on Johnny Fisher 1, and I'll update people regularly on there. And just thank you to everyone for your support.
And we'll put all your links in the description box below this video.
Thank you very
It's been
much.
a pleasure.
Yeah,
It's been a
very
real good talk.
Thank you for having us.
And I look
Great.
forward to a Chinese
First of
off
many,
man.
yeah. Good luck with what you've got coming around the corner.
you.
Good luck. Your life's
Cheers.
about to change. Oh, dear.
Thank you.
Chet Sandhu's book is finally available worldwide on Amazon. He's one of our most viral podcast guests ever. The book is called Self-Made, Dues Paid, an Asian kid who became an international drug smuggling gangster. Do you want to read some of the back, Jen?
Oh, yeah, go the blurb. In 1999, Chet Sandhu was arrested at gunpoint in Alicante Airport for smuggling the largest quantity of illicit pharmaceutical drugs in Spanish history. Interesting. Overnight, he went from living in the shadows of the Costa del Crime's underworld to being labelled a notorious supervillain in the international press. Incarcerated alongside murderers, rapists, and terrorists in a super maximum security wing, he had to navigate a world of murderous knife fights, prison breaks, drug taking, and high-stake power plays. Good bedtime read.
In Self-Made Jews Paid learn how a British-born Asian kid with disabilities, raised in a corner shop, emerged as a protector of his family from racist thieves and hooligans. Be prepared to be entertained, informed and offended by Chet's no-holes-barred account of raves, drugs, bodybuilding, entering the fashion industry. Did you know that he dated Kylie Minogue and Naomi Campbell?
Latest interview.
Working the doors and life in one of the world's deadliest places to be incarcerated. If you enjoyed Chet's podcast series with us, there's a lot more detail in the book. Check it out. Worldwide on Amazon, ebook, paperback, and audiobook.
I kill you! A knife and a kosh and all that, like, and he's looking at me, and we went white, and there he was gone, like.
What is it about a tough guy that fascinates us?
Imagine I'm hearing that, I'm thinking I'm not going down today. If I go down today, I'm dead.
We're bringing you the very best of our interviews with Britain's hardest men.
They made the mistake of bringing billy clubs, iron bars and knives to a gunfight.
No Rules Fighter Bash, Stephen the Devil French, and my best friend, Wild Man. Over 2 hours of terrifying tales of punch-ups, stabbings.
That's what happens in that world. You leave people long enough, they get enough rope to hang themselves.
Attempted murders and exceptional all-round hardness. This film is available to rent or own on Amazon or Vimeo. Plus, the first 30 customers to order this film get a 30% discount on any Vimeo order. Click the link below to see if you're one of the lucky ones. This film will drop your jaw like a punch from the hard men we talk to. So why not order your copy today?